Andy the ant was having a wonderful day. The sun was shining brightly, casting a warm glow over the meadow. The birds were singing melodious tunes, filling the air with joy and harmony. Andy felt the gentle breeze on his tiny antennae, and it made him feel alive and happy. Andy was carrying a big crumb of bread. It was almost as big as he was, but that didn't bother him. He had found this treasure and was determined to bring it back home. He found it in a picnic basket. The humans had left behind so many goodies, but this crumb was the best of all. It smelled delicious, and Andy knew it would be a treat for everyone. He was taking it back to his anthill. The journey was long and the crumb was heavy, but Andy was determined. He knew his friends would be so happy to see what he had brought. Andy hummed a happy tune. The melody kept him motivated and made the journey seem shorter. He loved the feeling of accomplishment that came with each step. He marched through the tall grass. The blade swayed gently, parting just enough for him to pass through. It was like a tiny jungle, but Andy was fearless. The crumb was heavy, but Andy was strong. His little legs moved steadily, never wavering. He knew that every step brought him closer to home. He was excited to share the crumb with his friends. He imagined their faces lighting up with joy, and it made him move even faster. "They will be so happy to see this," Andy said to himself. He smiled, feeling a sense of pride and happiness. Today was truly a sunny day, not just because of the weather, but because of the joy he felt inside.
Andy came to a stream. A thin twig was the only way across. It was a wobbly bridge.
"Oh no," Andy said. His heart thumped. He did not like wobbly bridges. The twig bridge swayed in the wind. It creaked and groaned. Andy took a step back. He felt afraid. "I can't do it," Andy whispered. He looked back at the way he came. He thought about going home.
"Don't give up," a voice said. "You have come so far and you are almost there."
Andy looked up, feeling a surge of determination. A friendly spider, Sophie, was spinning a web nearby, her movements graceful and precise.
"You can do it, Andy," Sophie called out, her voice filled with warmth and encouragement.
"But the bridge is too wobbly," Andy said. He felt very small and unsure of himself.
"You are stronger than you think," Sophie said, her eyes kind and reassuring. "Just take it slow and steady." Sophie smiled at Andy, her confidence in him unwavering.
Andy took a deep breath, gathering his courage. He looked at the bridge, focusing on each step he needed to take. He thought about his friends waiting for the crumb, their trust in him giving him strength. With renewed determination, Andy took his first step onto the bridge, feeling more confident with each move. Sophie watched proudly, knowing that Andy had found his inner strength. Andy took a small step onto the bridge. It wobbled. Andy held his breath. He took another step, and another. Each step felt like a giant leap, but he knew he had to keep going. The bridge seemed endless, stretching out before him like a daunting challenge.
The bridge swayed and creaked, but Andy kept going. He could feel the wind pushing against him, making the bridge sway even more. His heart pounded in his chest, but he didn't let fear stop him. He remembered the words of his friends, encouraging him to be brave. He focused on each step. Every movement was deliberate, every step calculated. He knew that one wrong move could send him tumbling, but he trusted himself. He had practiced for this moment, and he was ready. He thought about how happy his friends would be. They had always believed in him, even when he doubted himself. Their support gave him strength. He imagined their smiling faces, cheering him on from the other side.
Finally, Andy reached the other side. Relief washed over him as he stepped onto solid ground. He had done it. The challenge that once seemed impossible was now behind him.
"I did it!" he shouted. His voice echoed through the trees, a triumphant cry of victory. He felt a surge of pride and accomplishment. He was proud of himself. For the first time, he truly believed in his own strength and courage. He stood tall, feeling a newfound confidence.
Sophie cheered. She had been watching from the other side, her heart filled with hope and excitement. Now she was overjoyed to see Andy succeed. "See, Andy? I told you you could do it." Her words were filled with pride and encouragement. She'd always known he could overcome his fears.
Andy smiled. It was a smile of pure joy and satisfaction. He had faced his fears and come out stronger on the other side. He learned that being brave is not about not being scared. It's about facing your fears head-on and not letting them control you. He realized that courage was about taking action despite the fear. It's about trying your best even when you are. Andy knew that he had given his all, and that was what truly mattered. He had proven to himself that he was capable of great things. He carried the crumb to his anthill, happy and proud. Each step felt lighter, each movement filled with purpose. He had achieved something remarkable, and he couldn't wait to share his success with his friends.